So to move on with today's proceedings, I'd like to invite Wilima Wadhwa on stage. Dr. Wadhwa is the head and director of ASER Center.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today. And to all our partners, our volunteers, ASER associates, Pratham teams, thank you. And all our friends here and abroad, thank you for supporting us through this journey. Many of you are not here today, but we miss you, and we hope that you're watching from somewhere. As many of you know, ASER is back after a break of a year. When we first started doing ASER in 2005, we made a commitment to do it for at least 5 years. In fact, so as not to waver from that commitment, we even put annual in our name. And the reason why we did that was that we believe that for data and evidence to inform policy, it has to be available at the level at which policy is made. It has to be comparable over time, and it has to be available on an annual basis so that corrective action can be taken. So when we had completed 5 years of ASER, we consulted with many stakeholders about how we should evolve going forward. And the consensus from everyone, whether it was policymakers, our partners, educationists, academics who use our data, was that you can't stop now. You have to continue for another 5 years because ASER remained the only source of comparable annual data on learning outcomes, which was available in the public domain. After the 10th ASER in 2014, we decided to take a break to consolidate and reflect on our findings, as well as to experiment with some new things. In December 2015, January 2016, we launched the Lakhon Mein Ek campaign. This was a campaign where the aim was to reach out to 100,000 communities, engage with them so that they could assess their own children, understand the problems, and try to find solutions for it. The response was completely unprecedented. When we were setting the goal, we were a little wary about that, but by middle of January, 150,000 communities had participated in Lakhon Mein Ek. People had come together and used ASER to assess their own children, and 10 million children were assessed across the country. The results were discussed in communities. The results were displayed in communities. We followed it up with a reading week in about 25,000 villages as well. The other thing that we have been doing in the last year or so has been experimenting with higher level tools for older children, children in the age group of 14 to 18, something that we are calling Beyond Basics. And we hope to scale these up to a national effort in the coming years. So ASER 2016 marks the beginning of a new series for us. We have a new census frame available that became available last year, 2015. We have a new government since 2014. We have a new education policy is being drafted after almost 3 decades. And many states are now doing their own learning assessments. But we still feel that there is room for a foundational assessment that tells you something about children who are not at grade level. Every year when the ASER data starts to come in and we start the analysis, all of us have our fingers crossed and are hoping to see very large jumps in learning levels so that we can, by some miracle, we can say that all children in the country are able to read basic texts and do basic arithmetic operations. But I guess, till that happens, there will be a need for an ASER. This year, the report is being released by two of our newest volunteers, Pragati and Ritu from UP. They participated for the first time in ASER, and by our oldest partner and supporter, Mr. Soma Sundar, who has been with us since the beginning. He even participated in the pilot of ASER 2005, and he himself has visited 289 villages of the total 800 villages in his district, whether it was to do ASER or to monitor ASER or to attend the district level training of ASER or to recheck ASER. He even trekked 18 kilometers, crossed 16 streams to do ASER in a remote Naxalite village by himself. I would now like to invite our guests to come on the stage and share their ASER experiences with us. But before I do that, a very special thanks to Ketan, Anuradha, the entire ASER Center team, Nandu and his team, who all worked so hard to bring this report to you today. Thank you.